Well, hello and welcome, everyone. This is Laura Rubenstein. I'm a marketing, social media, and business transformation strategist with TransformToday.com and creator of the FemininePowerCards.com. And that's why I'm excited to be here with you today, as we have a very special guest interview all lined up to talk to you about charisma and the feminine and what's going on in the world. And that is with Kala H. Koss. She's a PhD and the CEO of the Empowerment Academy. She's also the creator of The Charismatic Woman, How to Awake Your Hidden Power for Love and Riches. And as a visionary author and teacher for the past 30 years, Kala has helped thousands of women globally to master the inner game of charisma, confidence, and cash flow. I love that. Her teachings have been endorsed by top leaders such as Mark Victor Hansen, who is the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, as you may know, T. Harv Eker, best-selling author of Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and Robert Allen, co-author of the best-selling 1 Minute Millionaire. Kala is also the owner of a six-figure business in Oahu, Hawaii, where she happily lives with her beloved husband. Welcome, Kala. How are you?
Thank you, Laura. I'm doing great. Aloha from Hawaii.
Aloha. Well, let's just jump right in. So, Kala, why do you focus on helping women boost their charisma, and how is that really supposed to help them increase their cash flow and or attract an ideal mate, or even give them maybe more peace of mind?
Well, Laura, I'm excited to answer that question, but I'm going to do it in a roundabout way, okay? Because I know there's a lot in that question. I really believe that the women of the world are on a very unique journey right now, and of course the men who might be listening today can relate to what I'm going to say from their own unique set of challenges. Well, studies have come out from the research in the past 40 years, Laura, that women have never been as unhappy as they are now. That just is staggering to me. They did a study. It's called The Paradox of Declining Female Happiness, and it was published in American Economic Journal. And they found that despite having more opportunities than ever before, women have a lower sense of well-being and of life satisfaction. So for the most part, American women, and I would say this probably relates to Canadian women and, different women in different countries, that they tend to believe that they must do all of the following in order to be considered a complete and successful woman. So get this, Laura. Here's the list. I have to get married. I have to have a career. I have to have children. I have to look good while doing it, which means exercise or eat well or wear the right clothing or keep a nice house. And that is that is formidable. And I really think that we're at a turning point for our lives right now and for the world. There is a call to something greater. And I believe the reason that in spite of all our accomplishments and our years of personal work and spiritual growth work that we're less happy is we haven't been able to access the true power, our own true essence, the power that we need to flourish and thrive. And we haven't yet awaken to the kind of power that we need to create the things that we really most deeply yearn for. So I believe charisma can take us there. And why would I believe that? Well, charisma is about energy. It's about understanding the male active energy of the universe and the female receptive energy of the universe. And this is a very important point. The feminine surrendered place in us is receptive. It doesn't do anything. The spiritualization process in men as well as in women, it's a feminization process, a quieting of the mind. It's the cultivation of personal magnetism. So, Laura, if you have a pile of iron shavings and you want to arrange them, say, in some beautiful patterns, you could do one of two things. You could use your fingers and try to arrange the tiny pieces of iron into like beautiful lines, or you can buy a magnet. and the magnet will attract the iron shavings. And from above, with that magnet, you can move those pieces, those iron shavings, into various patterns. And this symbolizes our feminine consciousness, which exerts its power through attraction rather than activity. I believe we're at a time on the planet right now, Laura, that we're being drawn to shift our consciousness toward this feminization process. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. I mean, it's a shocking statistic that you shared, and it's quite the list to keep up with. And, wow, what if we could do more of that magnetism and be in our feminine? So can you speak a little bit about what charisma is and how it can be increased?
I'd love to. Well, first I think I better give you an idea of what I mean by charisma. I view charisma as an invisible energy with visible results. And there is a myth that charisma is a fundamental inborn quality, that you either have it, like Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley, for example, or you don't have it. Now, good looks might have some advantages in being charismatic, but anybody, I believe, can be highly charismatic without a striking face or figure. And in fact, charisma itself, expanding your charisma, will make you more attractive. They've done a lot of extensive research, actually, that, in laboratories that show that charisma is the result of specific nonverbal behaviors. And in controlled laboratory experiments, researchers were actually able to raise and lower people's levels of charisma as if they were turning a dial. So you don't have to be outgoing, you don't have to be physically attractive, and you won't have to change your personality. It's about adopting a series of specific practices that fit in with the personality that you already have and that inspire people to see you as charismatic because of the way they feel with you. And when you increase your charisma, you actually become more memorable. You come across as more grounded. You come across as more inspiring. People feel that you are authentically present with them and they feel valued. And not only do you change your life in a big and positive way, I believe that you also empower your family and your community and the planet. And when your charisma is not available to the world, it costs everyone. That's what I think.
Wow, it's powerful stuff, and it's good news that one could learn it, I suppose. So how did you come to this place where you began to teach charisma, and what is it that convinced you that charisma can take us there?
Well, the way that I uncovered what I've been teaching for the last several decades came through what I call a twist of fate. And it's an interesting little story. I was in my 20s. I was a very vibrant and energetic young woman, and in fact, I was an international world traveler as a flight attendant with Air Canada. And I hurt my back on a flight, on an overseas flight, and afterwards, it so happened that an illness set into my body, and that illness is known as ankylosing spondylitis. It's actually an arthritic rheumatic disease. And the doctors told me, here I was in my mid-20s, and they diagnosed me, and they said that it was degenerative, it was a progressive disease, it was potentially fatal, and that there was no known cure. And I began to lead a life of what they call quiet desperation, a life of frustration, of fear, and of pain. That was just part of what I was going through. And I really suffered with those symptoms for about 3 years. And then around that time, around that 3-year point, I was invited to a human potential seminar, and it was so powerful. And Laura, I had this, I love the cartoon where the little light bulb goes off of on above the character's head. You see that they've got this incredible, epiphany or something. Yeah, and that's what happened to me. I just suddenly understood the mind-body-emotion connection, and I understood why I had drawn that into my life, even attracted that into my life. And when I realized that, I knew right then and there that I had the power to change it, that I had the power to recreate my health again. And I put out, I tried every modality that I could for healing, because I had such a strong motivation and intention to heal. And it took me about a year. And at the end of a year, I went back to Air Canada and I said, I am healthy again. I'm healed and I want to come back to work. And of course, they viewed me as a liability, and they sent me to 3 specialists to make sure that I was checked out thoroughly. And the 3 specialists examined me. They couldn't find a trace of the ankylosing spondylitis in my blood or in my body, and they had to send me back to work to be able to go back again. And I had this thought, how did I do that? How did I really actually do that? And how do we create, not just about our health, but how do we create love? How do we create wealth? And then, because it was like a prayer that was out there, that thought, I was led, as I was searching, I was led to this once hidden knowledge of Polynesia that's been passed down as an oral tradition through the generations. It's actually been encoded into the Hawaiian language. And I was so excited because it specifically teaches how we create our experience of reality from the inside out. And that, of course, is what I wanted to know. I began to study this hidden knowledge, and I was able to be mentored by several kahunas who, a kahuna actually means keepers of the secret. So I was going through a very special schooling with several kahuna mentors, and they taught me what the unseen forces are that shape our reality and how to use them to become a more skillful creator. And it changed my life in such a big way. And I know this is a long, drawn-out way, Laura, to get to the answer of your question about charisma, but I'm getting there. And so when I was growing up, I was actually born and raised on the prairies of Saskatchewan in Canada, and I always felt that there had to be more to life than meets the eye of what I felt and saw there. And that's when this philosophy came into my life, I saw that bigger picture of the greater mystery. And then I also began to feel that there had to be more to sex. And that was around the time that Tantra came into my life. And Tantra from India, as you know, Laura, I'm sure, is about the art of sacred sexuality. So I studied with several tantric masters who became mentors, and then I started to realize that when I combined the energetic of both of them, this philosophy and practice of life from Hawaii and the energy practices of Tantra, there was this extremely powerful synthesis when I brought the two of them together. And so I've been really blessed to be a catalyst for thousands of men and women to expand their personal magnetism, to attract miracles, because of this work I've been doing, what I call magnetic energizing. And it's a specific system. It's based on ancient principles, and it's the foundation for expanding your personal magnetism. So that is also known as charisma, your personal magnetism. So that is how I got to believe the path, the twist of fate that brought me to this place where I was able to start working with magnetic energizing to help people, even when they thought it was hopeless, to create more significance and more miracles. And so that's part of that's the journey that got me here, is to teach people through magnetic energizing to change our inner world, because to vibrate with what it is we desire in our lives, to create from the inside out, which is what I realized that I had done, and it's what we're all doing all the time. So that's my journey, Laura.
That's quite the journey, and you've acquired such incredible skills that I know you're committed to sharing in a way. So what is the best way to start boosting our charisma?
Thank you. I am passionate about this work, and I do believe in its power to change people's lives. But before I speak about, what's the best way to start boosting our charisma, I really would like to address and uncover a dangerous myth that squelches charisma and that keeps women in so much anguish and frustration through their lives. And then I'd like to share 3 keys of magnetic energizing that expand our charisma and cause the miracles that affect our future and that can affect the future of our planet.
Wonderful.
So and I love to share this myth, and I know that you'll relate to it. All women will be able to relate to this. There is a myth, and I'm sure the men can relate to it too, but maybe in a little different way. There is a myth that we've all been spoon-fed, and the myth is costing us our power, for one, our financial power and our independence. It's costing us our presence, our ability to effectively show up in the world. And it's costing us our peace, because there is no peace of mind when we're anxious and hurried and over-caring and over-giving. And this is the dangerous myth, Laura. The schools, the professional associations, and the media teach you that competence, abilities, and beauty are everything, and that success goes to those who work hard, have the best skills, and have the best looks. Except that when we believe that competence and skills and beauty are everything, we begin to compare ourselves to others. We try to be perfect at all costs. We truly do. We become perfectionists. And when we perceive that we're not living up to those standards, we just shame ourselves. We shame ourselves with put-downs and with judgments. And our self-talk becomes all about how we aren't good enough. And that dramatically affects our life force energy, our internal state. And this internal war just crushes our charisma. So this brings me to the first key of magnetic energizing. And the first key is awareness. So what do you need to be aware of? First, be aware of your thoughts and the feelings that follow them. Be aware that they are a powerful, invisible force for generating or depleting energy. In my work with women, I've noticed, Laura, that one of the greatest areas of judgment is around the body. We think of ourselves in comparison to the images we see in the magazines and the ads and the mass media, and this is why I say it might not be as pronounced for men, but women really do hold themselves up to these images. And then most of us find ourselves falling short of the way we like to look or think we should look. And I bet you've heard some things that women say about their bodies, some not so flattering things. What are some of the things that you've heard women say about their bodies, Laura?
Oh, they're constantly thinking they're fat and saying their skin isn't smooth enough, it's too wrinkled, and every little piece there's nothing. Their butt's too small, their butt's too big. They're see anything like that.
Right. It's like a never-ending story. If you can find a woman who will tell you that she likes everything about her body, wow, that would be exceptional. So I would like to do a little exercise with the listener right now. Those of you who are listening, for you who are on this line and are listening right now, I'd like to ask you to do a little exercise with me and just close your eyes for a moment. And, of course, you could go ahead and do that too, Laura. That'd be great.
Okay.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Good. Just to slow down for a minute. Think about your body. How do you feel about it? Do you like it? Do you love it? Are you happy with the way you look? What kind of image of your body do you hold in your mind? What kind of image do you hold in your mind? Let it flash up on the screen. Maybe you have an issue with your thighs, and when you think of yourself, you imagine big thighs or something. What kind of image of your body do you hold in your mind? And are you proud to display your body in public or in private or naked? And what do you say most often about your body to yourself and to others? So now just take a deep breath and exhale again. Beautiful. Open your eyes, just look around the room, become present again, just notice all the different colors in the room. And say a word or a phrase to yourself of how your body feels as a result of telling yourself those things. Does it feel good when you tell yourself thoughts, the judgments, the criticisms? Does it feel good? Did you notice that when you thought those thoughts, any kind of images that you didn't like, any kind of judgments, any kind of criticisms, did you notice that it just doesn't feel in your body? So do you think that maybe you might be limiting your ability to be more charismatic when you have those thoughts and those criticisms? And that's all that I wanted to have you experience, because your body is the vehicle for your life force energy, and it is your life force energy that you use to project that powerful animal magnetism. It's animal magnetism we sometimes call charisma, and your thoughts are going to deplete or expand that energy. Now, if we were together right now in person, Laura, I could show you, or anyone on this line, I could show you a very powerful demonstration through muscle checking or kinesiology, which is what a lot of chiropractors are doing nowadays, using, and so many other professionals. So a muscle test or a muscle checking is a way of getting information from your subconscious self, your body, mind, all the cells of your body. And it would show you through the testing that after thinking or saying specific negative or positive words, it would show you how you become either weak or strong physically. So here's how it goes, Laura. It's when there's a self-criticism. If I had you here right now and had you criticize yourself and asked you to have your arm out and we would test your strength, that self-criticism would weaken you. But if I asked you to give yourself a compliment, that would immediately strengthen you, so that the compliment neutralizes the effects of criticism. Every compliment neutralizes the effects of criticism. So if you've got criticism or doubts about your body, about your sexuality, about your skills or your abilities, about any of that, anything about yourself, it's going to interfere with your personal magnetism, and it's going to interfere with your ability to attract what you want into your life. So just to remind you that your thoughts and the feelings that follow them are a powerful, invisible force. And in order to become magnetic, you've got to be conscious of your limiting thought patterns about yourself, your body, and your abilities. And of course, you can start to praise and compliment yourself more. And that's why awareness is such an important key to creating charisma. You want to be aware of your hidden beliefs that cause you to judge and criticize yourself too. And in order to claim your attraction power, you've got to release and replace those old thought patterns. So the second critical key of magnetic energizing is freedom. Claim your freedom. Choose freedom from old thought patterns. Replace them with new thought patterns. That's going to release you from your limits, because it's truly all about your presence here in the moment. Your presence radiates a power in this moment, and it is strongest when you are here in the present moment, not thinking about the past or projecting into the future. So when you've got worries or concerns or criticisms, it changes really. It shows in you, and people pick that up. Like, for instance, when you're in a snit, and especially someone close to you, like your husband would know in an instant, Laura, and so would mine, but, a friend or even a stranger, when you're in a snit in that one instance, another person can pick up your internal state through your body language in just a millisecond. And that lack of presence is translated as you do not value the other person and your time with them. It actually lowers your attractiveness to them. It lowers your charisma. And we do tend to be attracted to some people because they project such powerful energy, that animal magnetism. As I said, Marilyn Monroe is definitely associated with that phenomena of sexual charisma, and she could actually turn it on or off at will. Her friend Eli Wallach once wrote about how she was able to do that. He could see her do it, and people would know in public that it was Marilyn, or she could just walk anywhere and no one would realize it was her. And this is the third critical key of charisma, Laura. It is focus. My Hawaiian teachers taught me that energy flows where attention goes. Whatever you put your attention on, a flow of energy will go there. And I'm so happy to see, like 30 years ago when I started studying and teaching this, people weren't talking about this. And now the phrase is used more and the information is out there more, and it's exciting to see that. So focus. Are you confident and comfortable with focusing your life force energy, your sexuality outward to include others? Or is it that you don't even pay attention to that, or that you shrink away from that? It's a good question to ask, isn't it, Laura?
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Are you confident and comfortable with focusing it?
Yeah, and I think some people might wonder: are you talking about using sexuality to be manipulative, or about being promiscuous with it, and that's how you generate charisma? Or they may even have concerns about sexual abuse. So maybe you can clarify a little bit about focus and sexuality and charisma.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I would definitely would like to do that. Well, charisma is when our life force energy, our sexual energy, it just comes shining through, and people can feel that invisible sex energy. And of course, I'm not talking about using it to manipulate someone to get what you want, or that you have to be promiscuous. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. But sex and our sexuality, it's really one of the most emotionally charged subjects for people to address. And in our culture especially, and even more so in some other cultures, I guess, they're, talking honestly about sex and sexuality, or just really being able to confess your deepest worries or your fears or your longings about sexuality, it usually isn't done. And let alone talking about the spiritual aspect of sexuality. And it really requires courage to explore the dynamics of your sexual energy in a new way, to work with those dynamics in new ways. My forte is in helping women to vibrate with a sexual, spiritual energy so they can become a magnet for whatever they want in their life. And that sexual energy is a source of power, but it's the energy that gives us it's our life force energy. And for instance, Taoist master Montauk Chia, he teaches that sexual energy, or Qing Qi in Chinese, is one of the most obvious and powerful types of bioelectric energy. That's what I'm talking about. And when that flow of sexual energy is strong and clear, we're at the peak of our physical health. We have abundant energy and strength. And yet in many ways, physically, emotionally, mentally, we tend to block off the flow of our sexual energy. And you are the channel through which your sexual energy flows. However, that channel is only going to be as big as your expansive, compassionate thinking about yourself, and your expansive, compassionate thinking about sex and sexuality. So in order to have greater sexual magnetism, you have to become conscious of your self-judgment, your inner critic dialogue. So if you have limiting thoughts about sexuality yourself, like sex is bad or dirty, or I don't like my body, or I'm not attractive or sexy, or I have to look or act sexy to have attention because I won't get it otherwise, or I'm not worthy, or I'm damaged goods because I've had painful, abusive experiences, whatever it is, others are going to feel that coming from you subtly. And I know, Laura, that it's challenging when there is a negative subconscious focus because past abuse has happened that's caused pain or trauma. However, I actually do believe that we can reframe that to be the blessing of charisma for healing, because as you focus on your creative life force energy, it will bring up all that is not like your true essence, your true ecstatic nature. It will bring it up to be healed. And so focusing on charisma can really start us on the path to finding our gift and our gifts because of our own wounds. And then we can help others too. And that's really, truly why I teach a 30-day system in the Charismatic Woman program, because it guides you through the exact process I've used and how to attract miracles with a simple 10-minute-a-day formula so that you become a vibrational match to what you seek. You don't get what you want, you get what matches you. So the key is it's all about you and the pattern that you're vibrating. And that's why I teach about charisma, because it's about success through stress and struggle. It's about success through charisma, not through stress and struggle, Laura. So
I'm glad to hear that. Very glad. Well, given that you have this program and you're alluding to it, how can our listeners today get started to begin to raise their charisma, and what do you offer personally that empowers women to attract what they're longing for?
Thank you, Laura. That's wonderful that you're able to give me the opportunity to put forward these ideas and this program to women who are ready, willing, and able to shift in their lives. And here's what I would recommend. I have a free gift that you can access immediately, and you can do that by going to www.becomemagnetic, so BECOMEMAGNETIC, becomemagnetic.com/free-gift. So all lowercase, free-gift. And that is a magnetic starter kit with 3 tools to help you boost your charisma, raise your romance, and multiply your money. And one of the tools is a Charismatic Woman meditation to attract your ideal mate. It's a short animated video. It's very powerful. And if you do this regularly, you will definitely raise your vibration. So if you go to www.becomemagnetic.com/free-gift, you can get that magnetic starter kit. And because repetition is the way that the subconscious mind learns and changes, you need to find a way to be supported in repeating new habits and thinking and breathing and focusing your energy. That's what creates your personal magnetism, increases your magnetism, and it needs to become second nature to you. So to help women really shift their mindset and their magnetism to manifest the miracles I was talking about, in January I'm rolling out my new Charismatic Woman Salon for women who are ready to achieve goals that they thought were impossible until now. And the Charismatic Woman Salon is a life-changing journey. You'll get the biggest blanket of support you've ever had. And if you're interested, when you apply for your free gift, you are going to receive an email with my online calendar, and you can schedule a time to speak with me about the Charismatic Woman Salon. And if we're a fit to work together, then we will speak about you coming into the Charismatic Woman Salon, which is a mastermind group of successful, purposeful, heart-centered women. And it truly, truly is. It's my passion, and it is my mission to raise the vibration on the planet, one person at a time. And I hope that you as the listener will join me in that. So, Laura, that is what I have to offer. And thank you so much for allowing me to bring this offering to women today.
That is such a beautiful and generous offer. Again, everyone, go to becomemagnetic.com/free-gift. Check it out. And Kalal, just have some robust information. And again, this is Laura Rubenstein. We are sad to depart, but it has been a chock full of valuable time together, and we'll see you next time. Again, Laura with transformtoday.com. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye for now, Laura.